Greetings everyone, my name is Simon Doyle and today I'm going to talk to you guys about Elite Dangerous and an exploration guide to Elite Dangerous. I haven't seen any real exploration tutorials on YouTube, so I thought I should make one so to make exploration easier for newcomers and how to do it. The first thing you want to do when you drop into a system that you want to explore is so-called honk the system. You can see on the primary A slot I have a D scanner, that's a discovery scanner. You have to add it to a fire group, as you can see right here. You have to add it to a fire group and then you just hold down your left mouse button or a controller button and it will honk the system and tell you how many bodies or planets and clusters and all that jazz do you have in the system. Then you would press your FSS button and then you would go around in an old school way about all of the frequency range, and in the bottom right corner it will tell you what kind of signal are you currently looking for. For example, right now it's on metal-rich bodies. As you can see, I already explored this star system, so I would see all of the planets already mapped out, but you would see we have no metal-rich bodies. We have no high metal content worlds. We only have rocky bodies, icy bodies, and rock icy worlds. We don't have Earth-like worlds, but we have a few gas giants. It will not tell you what kind of gas giant it is, but after a while you will figure out that the higher the frequency are, usually the lowest chance of they having a ring. So, once you're out of FSS and you mapped all of the planets in the star system, you would need to go to each and every one of them. As you can see, I already have them in my navigation panel on the left. But when I go on them, it will tell me that it's not suitable for landing. It has pristine reserves or any kind of reserves. It hasn't been mapped by me yet and it has rings. Now, you would need a detailed surface scanner to scan all of the planets. And you need to add it to a fire group. You can see it over here. When you press your right mouse button or any of the controls you mapped it to on a controller, you would be greeted with this window. Basically, it just goes around the planet you have selected. For me, it is the gas giant. And if I'm at the ring, you see it says ring under the reticle. If it says ring, it would mean that the probe that I'm going to launch, like this, still with the right mouse button, will land on the ring and is going to scan it. As you can see, it just scanned the link, and if I go back and look at the navigation panel, it would tell me I have voidable hotspots, bromelites, and all these fancy things. And then you scan the ring, but you haven't scanned the planet yet. So if you go back to the detailed surface scanner, you could scan this as well. Now, for the other thing I wanted to show you is when you go into the system map, you would have all the planets that you have scanned in the FSS. But it would tell you in the middle that you have not mapped this planet or any of the other ones. As you can see, this has 42 geological signals. What does that mean? That means if you scan the surface of the planet with a detailed surface scanner, you could see that where are the geological signals are. And let me just show you that. They are basically landing ports, well, interesting features around the planetary body that you could see. Let me just get to the sunny side so we could see it better. And it should be right about here. There we go. So you want to stop near the planet, go to the detailed surface scanner again, and as you can see on the bottom middle right, on the side of the screen, it would say me the efficiency target is 2 probes and 0 has been impacted. I have 3 probes in stock, and I basically have to land it on this planet. Once you see that line that is in the middle of my reticle right now, it means that is the horizon of the planet. So if I wanted it to land on the top, I would basically have to hit the middle of that probe, the middle of that line with the probe. And as you can see, it landed on the top, and I want one on the bottom. Oh, no, it's already done because I have it engineered. And then you could see we have all the geological signals mapped out for us that we were told when we were on the system screen. Now, if you want to land on the planet and you have an SRV, you could select one of the geological signals. I would recommend one that is on the sunny side. Yep, that's good enough. Make sure you have a planetary landing suite on your ship, because if not, you would not be able to go into orbital cruise. Basically, you have to land on the planet. This is pretty straightforward. You have to keep your speed at a relative minimum. It doesn't hurt to check the gravity of the planet before you land, just to make sure if your ship can handle it. You can check it on this. It has 0.03 G. That would not be too bad. And then you just easily land it, just bring it home. What I like to do, I don't know if anyone else likes to do it because I'm usually in solo, is be in at least a 100-kilometer area of the landing pad where you want to land, or the landing zone that you want to land, and then go into the drop phase. We basically want to glide right near the geological signal, but not on top of it, because geological signals, as the name would suggest, is usually geysers, water geysers or volcanic original geysers. As you can see, it's going to be a water geyser because we don't see lava coming out, we see white smoke coming out. And I don't need the night vision here. What you want to do is get close, maybe around 1 kilometer, 1.2 kilometers away from it, and then you would want to deploy your landing gear. You would want to slow down before it if it's a higher G planet, because you have your landing gear deployed. For some reason, some of the thrusters on your ship don't work. Then I deploy my landing gear and find a suitable landing spot. Let me just find one of these. There we go. We just line it up until it says alignment OK, and slowly touch it down. There we go. Now, as you can see, I don't have a planetary vehicle hangar activated at the moment because this is an exploration ship and I try to cut every single thing down to the bare necessities, so I don't have it always enabled. And once you landed, you could collect all the ingredients you want, like needle crystals or crystalline fragments. But one thing that I never see anyone else showing is in fire groups you can go to the composition scanner. You have one of those as well. So basically you want to change into analysis mode and then change to the composition scanner and go close to one of these geysers. It doesn't really matter which one, we could scan one of these as well, but I would like to scan the one that is really powerful. Be careful not to land on top of it, because if you land on top of it, it will shoot you up. It's easier to scan in turret mode in my opinion. You just aim at it until that blue line under the crosshair just lights up, and then you hold down the left mouse button. As you can see, this is a water ice geyser and no new traits found. If I would have found any new traits, however, it would show up on the right side panel, in the codex, in the discoveries, in the biological and geological signals, and in the ice geyser tab. You see, I've already conferred one of them, so it wouldn't show up for me, but you could find it over here. This is one of the things that no one shows. If you find any other geological signals or biological signals, you could get out your composition scanner, just line it up, and then just scan away. You could do this with any of the geysers, just let me show you. Like for example, there's a geyser that doesn't fire water out of it, and you could just scan that one as well. If I could aim. There we go. Like it said, waterized geyser, no new traits found. What you could do, on the other hand, if you change back to combat mode and changed back to the dual repeater loadout, is just go for these needle crystals, because usually they have very high grade materials in them. Usually yttrium or something along those lines. But before we shoot this out, you could check it in the system map, and you go to the current planet you are on and go to the second tab, and it will tell you in the planet materials that it has sulfur, carbon, phosphorus, and all that jazz. You could see that polonium, mercury, tin, arsenic, and germanium are all on this planet. It will probably be polonium since, as you can see, under the line that you have mapped this planet, it says pristine reserves. Now, pristine reserves mean that it will give you a higher percentage chance to get the higher grade materials. So, for example, needle crystals and crystalline fragments are higher grade material containers, basically. And if you shoot these containers out, it will give you higher grade materials with a higher percentage chance. As you can see, like I told you, it's polonium, a grade 5 material, easily found at a geological site without any farming at a biological site. And crystalline fragments, it's probably going to be a different one, but this is usually pretty good as well. I usually get grade 3s from these. As you can see, now I wasn't so lucky. I got chromium, which is a grade 2 material. But this is the small video I wanted to make you guys about discovery. Because what a lot of people don't tell you is that you have a composition scanner and what it's used for, and how you can expand your codex. If you find any other materials inside your spaceship but outside of the bubble, you could always scan it with a composition scanner like I showed you right now with an SRV. You have to bind it to a fire group, and then you could discover other things, and they would show up in the codex. Now, if I would discover anything else that is new for me or for the system, it would give you 50,000 credits as a discovery bonus. I know it's not a lot, but it feels great when you discover something for the codex.